Next, please welcome the Salutatorian of the class of 2022, Hugo Onghai, who will be attending the University of UCLA in the fall.
What's up? Members of the Board of Education, administration, Mrs. Scannell, family, friends, teachers, and last but not least, the class of 2022. As Kanye West once said, welcome to graduation. Man, it's hot today, but it is in times like this when I'm extra thankful to be part of the Port Jefferson Royals family. I mean, can you imagine how long Lord Melville's graduation ceremony is going to be? By the time they reach T, we'll be doing this again. Today's a special day, not only for us, but for the history books too, especially the AP US history books. Mr. Rosen would appreciate this. Today marks the 39th anniversary of the first American woman's return from space, Sally Ride. This seemed fitting for a story I'd like to share with you all today. It's about outer space exploration, but it gravitates back to a remarkable discovery of what it means to be human right here on Earth. Carl Sagan's pale blue dot. Ready? There won't be a pop quiz on this, I promise. On February 14th, 1990, Voyager 1, the NASA space probe, was on a slingshot path out of our solar system, flying 3.7 billion miles away and counting. But just before it kissed everything it had ever known goodbye, Voyager 1 turned its camera around, snapped a photo of our blue and beautiful Earth, beamed the photo back to NASA, and then continued its journey into a distant galaxy far, far away. A few weeks later, the photo arrived to Earth, and a copy was sent to Carl Sagan, the famous astrophysicist. When the special delivery made it to his mailbox, Dr. Sagan hurriedly sat down at his office desk and sliced open the envelope that enclosed this out-of-this-world picture. He pulled the photo out delicately, and his eyes opened wide, as if that would help him see more of the photo at once. So, my fellow Royals, now you're probably asking, what did this photo look like? Well, it was a grainy expanse of darkness, broken up by mysterious streaks of light. It was pure emptiness, as space should be. But Sagan was confused. Where was Earth? I mean, that was what Voyager 1 took the photo of, right? So where was it? Where was Earth? Sagan squinted at the picture, and his chair creaked as he leaned in for a better look. He took his hand and tried to wipe off the dust obscuring the photo. And then he tried to wipe off the dust again, and again. But this one stubborn speck of dust would not come off. I'm sure many of us can relate to Carl Sagan's frustrations here. Years of swiping eraser shavings off of Scantrons will do that to you. Suddenly, though, it hit him. That speck wasn't dust. That was Earth. That one bluish-white speck that took up half of a pixel, that pale blue dot, as Sagan later called it, was Earth. That's where he was, where his office desk was, where his family, even his extended family was, where his ancestors and descendants would be, where everyone he'd ever loved was, where everyone he'd hated, everyone he'd ever known, and even everyone he would never know. All 7 billion humans are on this dot, and every supreme leader's bloody conquest for momentary control over just a portion of those 7 billion humans reduced to this mere dot too. Every viral trend, Fortnite update, TikTok dance, bottle flipper, and fidget spinner. Do you remember those? They aren't even blips. The free choice of generations of humans who've lived and died have, on this scale, impacted nothing. Okay, so you're probably thinking, why in the world did he just tell us that story? Good question. Feelings of insignificance and unimportance were probably not what you were expecting to hear at our special graduation. But in fact, here we are, about to slingshot ourselves out of high school, out of our poor Jeff, and away from everything and everyone we've lived for, laughed with, and loved, just like Voyager 1. For what? All my fellow graduates, does anyone else feel a bit unsettled about our unforeseen future? Maybe you're not feeling eager to exit. How about a bit lost? If this were a multiple choice question, I know I'd be bubbling in all of the above. If only we could understand the inner workings of the starry void that engulfs us. If only I could ask God, what plans do you have in store for me, and why must those plans taste so bittersweet? But I cannot know the answer, and we can't know. Sometimes it feels like life takes away so much. However, it's that feeling of being robbed, of being cheated of something, that's most dangerous. That feeling can build, that feeling can fester, and it can spiral out of control if we aren't careful. If we live our lives only staring out at the stars, worrying over past decisions, or wishing our lives away, we become blind to the moments that life gives us. We miss the moments that matter. So what if our lives don't matter on the galactic scale? We aren't galaxies, we're humans. Let's reject the cruel axiom of the universe that says our lives don't matter by savoring every single moment of them. Let's live in the moment, every moment. When we allow ourselves to be captivated by the moment, we find freedom. Freedom from the anxieties of tomorrow, and a freedom from the what-ifs and the what-could-have-beens sealed away in the past. We also find focus, a heightened appreciation for the smaller things in life, and a determination every morning to end the day a better person. And of course, there's always room for a bit of fun. Senioritis, combined with stumble guys on our phones, made the last 2 weeks of class pretty awesome. Sorry, Mr. Snow. But not every moment is easy to savor. Far from it. We can't pick and choose the hands we are dealt, and sometimes we just can't control the way life unfolds. In the face of unforeseen adversity, Mr. Hafner might say, "That's just the way the cookie crumbles." It's true. That's how an absurd world is sometimes. But don't let that discourage you, because at the end of the day, life is still a delicious cookie. Just like the ones in the cafeteria at the start of 5th period when they're fresh out of the oven. Sorry, I digress. The struggles, the triumphs, and the memories all will fill our hearts just the same. As Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have the power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." We can choose how we internalize external problems. We can silence resentfulness by embracing gratitude. And given that across our years in the district, teachers have always agreed in calling us the nicest grade. Sorry, juniors, it's true. I do not doubt that we can and will choose to welcome the unknown opportunities life will throw at us with wonderful excitement and a smile for adventure. Don't let anyone, especially yourself, convince you that life is tragic. Life on our pale blue dot isn't tragic. It's beautiful. We aren't unlucky because we have to leave our friends. We are blessed to have things and people that make saying goodbye so painfully hard. Of all the limitless places to be on the speck of a planet that we call home, I wouldn't trade my time at Port Jeff for the world, including all its galaxies and cosmoses. I am grateful for all the people, the memories, and the lessons that my life has given me so far, and friends, I'm sure you all are too. So, if you'd allow me, I'd love to give thanks. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my mother and father. You are my #1 supporters, whom I'll be forever indebted to, for your guidance, patience, and love. I will cherish those days you drove me to school when I missed the bus. Every so often when I miss the bus. Okay, I admit it. I miss the bus every day. Miss Creighton can attest to that. Thank you, Mom and Dad, and my expansive extended family. I love you. I don't know where you are. Good. Thank you to my brothers, Kyle and Gavin. Kyle, Gavin and I look up to you for your stoic presence and uncompromising wit. Gavin, Kyle and I both look up to you, only metaphorically though, because you'll always be the shorty of the family, even if you are taller than Dad. We look up to you, Gavin, because you see the humor in everything, contagious laughter and all. Thank you to my two dogs, Hurley and Juno, who are possibly the best in the world at living in the moment, especially moments involving walking or food. Thank you to my teachers, coaches, and mentors. By you, I was shown how to love what I learn every day, and find enjoyment in teaching others. Miss Garcia, I'll bring my excitement to every classroom and challenge in my future, just like you. Mr. Sefik, I'll always do my best to stay calm and collected, just like you in our intense quiz bowl matches. Mr. Health Maleta, I'll keep leaving my troubles at the trouble tree. Dr. Slack Maharg, I'll always remember to be grateful. And Mr. Chris, I'll never underestimate humor's ability to unite a classroom, and that the quotient rule is the bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom all over the bottom squared. Still got it. And finally, thank you to you, my friends, my fellow graduates, my fellow astronauts. The moments we share will be forever ingrained in my mind and in my heart. Moments like Gray's bear hugs, like Jack's legendary penalty kick in our senior soccer game, Ricky's not-so-legendary own goal in our senior soccer game, surviving high tide with Peter and Blake in our environmental science field trips, almost passing out with Stefano at Six Flags, rocking on with Justin, playing tennis with Jasmine, losing in tennis to Jasmine, balling downtown at Rocket Park with Hunter and Arik, hustling at CYO basketball games with Luke and Michael Scannell and Santiago, John, Tesser, Chris Scotto, cooking in Chef's Choice with Logan, going to track states with Warren, Lucy, and Annie, goofing off with Kyle Scandali and my cousin from Ireland in Miss Costanzo's 4th grade class, fixing wheels and wires with Natalie at this year's robotics competition, competing in Science Olympiad Quiz Bowl with Kasumi and Andrew, being the final boss in Terraria with William, and playing checkers and drinking juice boxes with Anthony back in pre-K. Yeah, I remember that. To those I've mentioned, and to those I regretfully couldn't mention, in an effort to not make this lengthy speech any longer than it already is, we can wear these memories like badges on our metaphorical spacesuits. Let's go out there and collect many, many more. We have so many people and pets to be grateful for. Too many to fit in this one speech. Port Jefferson got us to where we are today, and where our future takes us. Our teachers and parents are our mission controls. The Port Jefferson Royal spirit is the fuel of our engines, and each of us is simply the nose cone of an entire supporting rocket. Now, I'd like to close my speech with some of the first words we ever heard in our time in that building right there. However, only now, with all the memories from middle school, the experiences from high school, and the lessons from an entire pandemic somewhere in between, do I understand the power of accepting peace in a chaotic, unpredictable universe, the necessity of living in the moment, the necessity of finding gratitude in the face of resentfulness, and the true meaning, the true importance behind these words we used to hear every single day over the loudspeaker. Royals, make it a great day or not, that choice is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Hugo. Tonight,